Hello, hello. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time of day you are listening. Welcome back to Mostly Accurate, where we talk about life, chaos, sometimes we talk about crime, and occasionally we talk about turtles with better publicists than us. I am Monica, your host as always, and welcome back to the show. I hope you brought your emotional seatbelt today because we're going for a ride. We are definitely, yeah, we're going all over the place today. We're kicking things off with something light and heartwarming. Meet Snooki, a rescued sea turtle who's traded the Jersey Shore for Minnesota. Yup, she's officially Midwest's newest reality star. And honestly, girl, same energy, minus the spray tan and tequila. But don't swim off just yet because after that sunshine and seafoam, we're taking a hard left turn into another true crime story. I don't know why these keep popping up for me, but I just enjoy doing them now. The murder of Holly Watson, a bride to be, found dead just 2 days before her wedding. It's a wild story of love, lies, double lives, and yeah, it does sound like a Lifetime movie if Lifetime decided to go completely off the rails. So whether you're here for turtles, the twists, or the tea, you're in the right place. Today's episode has it all: a shell, celebrity, and scandal. I know that was super nerdy. I'm gonna have a ton more like turtle jokes for you later. Maybe. I don't know if we're going to do a full episode today or if this is going to be kind of like a shorter one. I am off to a very late start. Like I'm looking at the time right now and typically record like in the morning right when the baby falls asleep for his first nap of the day, but it is just not happening today. I am off to a very, very late start, but that's fine. That's fine. We'll get there. Maybe it'll be quick. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens. But shall yeah, let's get into this. All right. Our first story, current events today. So today's first story shines a spotlight on a real shell star. Meet Snooki, a 310-pound female loggerhead sea turtle who's officially found her forever sandy lounge at Minnesota Zoo in Apple Valley, Minnesota. So here's her backstory. Snooki was rescued after being stranded multiple times along the beaches of New Jersey. Back in 2016, she was admitted to the Karen Beasley Sea Turtle Rescue Rehabilitation Center. It's a very long name. That was a mouthful. But this is a place where basically like the ER meets a spa treatment combo situation. So it was like a pretty like bougie place for, rescued sea turtles to go chill and be rehabilitated. But despite all their efforts, Snooki struggled with some buoyancy issues. So basically, what was happening is that she couldn't, like, she was. I don't know, she was having floating issues, is basically what was happening. So, for like, if you were to try to release her into the wild, she would have issues, like diving to get food and all that kind of stuff. So, yeah, turtles have floating problems too. Because of that, she couldn't like safely be released back into the wild. So instead, they found her new forever home, permanent residency, five-star tank service included. Yes. And the name Snooki. Yep, that's exactly what you think. She was named after the Jersey Shore star, thanks to her big personality. And honestly, it like fits the turtle perfectly because apparently Snooki the turtle loves the spotlight minus the fake tan and poof. But yeah, I think that's just the cutest name ever for the turtle. And also, I'm just gonna just quick time out. I love the Jersey Shore TV series. I'm obsessed with it. I've been obsessed with it ever since it came out. I've probably seen every single episode maybe like 2 or 3 times, and that's a lot of Jersey Shore, you guys. Like, that's a lot of TV to watch, but I just love them so much, all of them. Just the whole crew. They're my favorite. I feel like I grew up with them because I'm pretty sure we're all like the same age. Okay, back to our story. So now let's talk about her new digs. At the Minnesota Zoo, Snooki is going to be living in like this massive 250,000 gallon Atlantic reef habitat. So this gives her plenty of space to do like turtle yoga and lazy lounging and, like swimming and having quality turtle relaxation time, which is really great for a turtle being rehabilitated. And of course, I have some turtle jokes because that's just who I am. Okay, so why did Snooki refuse to swim to the bottom of the tank? She said she'll consider it later. Get it? Because of the shell. Okay, that was dumb. All right, one more. When asked how she feels about moving to Minnesota, she said, I'm totally excited. Just don't ask me to shovel ice. Okay, these are really dumb. I'm not going to do jokes anymore. That was really bad. I thought they were funny at first, but they're really not funny. Okay, let's just continue on. So, what are our takeaways today? This story is like such a win of a conversation, right? Like animals that can't go back into the wild can still live in like super rich, meaningful lives and even help people connect with their species, which is again, totally amazing. It's also a great reminder that every animal deserves a second chance in a cozy home. And hey, a little humor and a fun nickname can make even like the most serious and sad wildlife stories feel more like human and relatable. So that's really fun. Yeah. So that was our fun little news article today. I want to keep it light. And now that we've met Snooki, the sea turtle living her absolute best life, lounging in a 250,000 gallons of peace and plankton. And you know what? She's honestly winning, but not everybody's story has such a happy ending. In fact, our next story takes us from beachy vibes to heartbreak in Missouri. So it's the story of Molly Watson, a bride to be who was just 48 hours away from walking down the aisle when her fairy tale turned into a complete nightmare. This one's got everything from secrets, lies, fake funerals, and one man living a double life that would even make Snooki say, What the shell? So let's get into it. All right, tea drinkers, buckle up. Today's story comes straight out of Hulu's Bad Romance, Season 2, Episode 3, Love You to Death. If you want to watch this after you listen to the episode, so you can maybe pick up on some things that I didn't catch, I just kind of came across this episode. I don't know how Hulu does it, but I feel like they know me. Hulu knows me very well. Um, but yeah, this was just like it popped up on my like for you, like things that we think you'll like. So I watched it and I did like it because it was crazy. And I've never heard of this. Like, I don't even like, there's so many of these cases that I'm just like, what's happening in the world? Because I don't know. Maybe I just wasn't paying attention before. At least I'm keeping you guys informed now. Okay. So I guess this story, let's get into it. And if you ever thought your dating life was complicated, just wait until you hear about this guy. All right. So we're going to go back to April 27, 2018, just 48 hours before 35-year-old Molly Watson's wedding day. So I'm just going to paint a picture for you. It's late, country road, small town Missouri vibes, the kind of place where even the crickets go to bed early, right? So this man named Glenn, he's driving home when headlights suddenly cut him off, like cut off his vision. And he slows, he pulls over, and he has a brief exchange with the driver. And he even like asks the driver, like, is somebody stuck? Nothing too weird, you know what I mean? Just country manners, like, you guys good? You good? You good? So the guy's like, everything's fine, and he just goes home. But he just like feels like something was like totally off. So after he gets home, he tells his mom and brother, he's like, just something just didn't sit right. He's like, I'm gonna go back. So he turns around. This whole him getting home, getting back out to his car, maybe the course of 20, 30 minutes, not a really long time. And thank God he did, because when he drives back 30 minutes later, his headlights sweep across something in the road and it's not a car, it's a body. Pretty crazy stuff. Like, you got to always trust those gut feelings, guys. I mean, like, holy crap. Okay, so now we get to the scene of the crime. Police arrive and they find a young woman shot execution style, single gunshot wound to the back of her head. The crime scene is muddy but full of clues. Tire tracks are well preserved, showing that it looks like there's two O's. So they're thinking, okay, this is probably a Goodyear tire. Nearby, there's like a t-shirt that is located, which contains Molly's blood. It contains gunshot residue. And there's also a empty like 22 caliber box of bullets found. Later, the autopsy confirms that the victim was in fact Molly Watson, the bride to be, just killed 2 days before her wedding. And yes, her marriage license found in the trunk of a nearby car. Holy crime scene, right? This has to be like the dumbest murderer on the planet. Like you did the worst job at trying to cover up a crime scene, right? Like what like you didn't do any research. You didn't even try. You left evidence all over the place. You left your tire tracks. Like, I'm sorry. Crime scene, I mean, I guess for the police, perfect crime scene. But for the killer, like, you did a really shitty job. I would say do better, but like, I mean, thank goodness you didn't do better. So let's backtrack a little bit. Who's Molly? Like who is this person? She was a creative soul. She even had her own YouTube channel, and honestly, a content queen. She was like super sweet. She was just like a good person. Everyone she talked to, all of her friends, and like everyone that described Molly, it was just like she was just like this bubbly person. She was like super confident in herself, even though she kind of had like a rough past. She had been married once before in her 20s. And the relationship kind of failed. They were good getting a divorce, and she actually found out she was pregnant with her son, and she was just like learning to start over as a single person. Molly gets this job where she meets this guy named James Addy. And he is a lieutenant at where she works, and they work at a correctional facility. So they really hit it off, like right off the bat. James was 16 years older, but it didn't seem like weird to them. It didn't seem like it was like any type of an issue for like their relationship together, and they just really hit it off. So she was like finally happy. She was, like ready to just like start a new life and just be happy. And James had two kids from a prior marriage. He had been married a couple times before, but he did have children from a prior marriage, and that didn't really seem to bother Molly, and they actually end up dating for 7 years. So let's get into this engagement. So for 7 years, Molly and James dated, and then they finally got engaged. But when it came to wedding planning, James had like the enthusiasm of a man stuck at Hobby Lobby on a Sunday. Like he was just like not feeling it. He was just kind of like a groom, like along for the ride, like whatever. And then one day, James tells Molly that his ex-wife, the one with the kids, died. She was in this horrific, tragic car wreck. She was on life support and she didn't make it. And this is literally a week before the wedding. Like, we're talking like hours away is the wedding. So he says that he's like grieving and he needs to go be with his kids. His daughter, who was supposed to help with Molly's wedding, and she was supposed to get like her hair and makeup done, suddenly cancels. And this is when Molly just starts to worry if James is getting cold feet. Like it's just like a crazy, weird situation to happen. Like all of a sudden, you're planning a wedding and the ex-wife dies, and the kids are supposed to be in the wedding, and I don't know. Molly just thinks like something just like totally is not making sense at all. But she just kind of continues with her wedding planning. Like we are just days away from the wedding at this point. She's got a fiance who's grieving, and it's just everything's kind of turned into a mess. But she's like, all right, well, I need to go get my marriage license. And this is actually the last footage that we have of Molly. So Molly goes to the county clerk's office to get her marriage license. And you can see her on camera. Like, she's like, just like happy, normal. And she's like walking in and, nothing out of the ordinary. And then you see James on camera, Russian, late, visibly annoyed, but they leave holding hands together. The clerk could totally feel the vibes of the couple, like Molly, happy, sweet, bubbly, and James kind of just agitated, doesn't want to be there, kind of just like going through the motions. But yeah, so that's definitely noted by the clerk. They get the marriage certificate, which is the same marriage certificate later found covered in mud at the crime scene. So now let's go back to the crime scene. What happened just hours after Molly's body is found? Police automatically go to James Addy's house to notify him about Molly's death. Remember, they found the certificate. They're like, okay, we got to tell this guy that his fiance was basically murdered. So they go to the door, they're pounding on the door, and when they arrive, they find a woman asleep in the house. And what is her name? Melanie Addy. Yeah, AKA the alive, not deceased wife of James Addy. Gasp, right? Like, what the hell? Like, imagine just being woken up in the middle of the night by the police telling you that your husband's fiance was just murdered. Like, excuse me, sir? You told one woman your wife was dead while she was like literally in home in her pajamas. So basically, James admits to cheating, but he denies the murder. Still, police arrest him for first degree murder after they uncover what can only be described as like a Pinterest board of living a double life, basically. We realize after more searching that he'd created this whole fake life, like fake documents printed on official like letterheads. He was pretending to be on work trips. He was literally like traveling with Molly this entire time, and his wife had no idea. Like, he would literally just create like some pretend itinerary and be like, here, honey, I'm going to Florida on a work trip. Not with my girlfriend that I've been dating for 7 years. I don't know. I just don't understand how this wife could have totally missed that. I guess if like a guy works all the time, I don't know. I think it's a little silly. So after his arrest, the real wife, like the alive one, starts digging through like this loft over the garage. And this is where she finds like a treasure trove of his hidden life, like photo albums, cards, pictures, like evidence of this like whole other life that James had been living. So Melanie, the wife, is then interviewed for this documentary, and she's asked at one point, like, did you think that your husband was capable of murder? And she's like, yeah, I do. Like, so nonchalant, but yet she has no idea that he had been cheating on her the entire time. It's just, I don't know. It's just bizarre to me. So, despite Melanie's just like obliviousness to what kind of man James was and what kind of life he was living, we need to figure out like what happened to Molly, like what's actually going on here. So, did James like freak out days before his wedding, you know, with his very much alive wife? Like, what is he going to do in this situation? Like, did he freak out and was like, I just need to get rid of her or something? But like I said, remember, Molly started getting suspicious because the ex-wife suddenly passes away in this tragic car accident, and it seems like everyone's getting cold feet. So Molly's phone is actually later found, and it shows like through her phone history that she actually didn't believe James. Like, she had been Googling Melanie's obituary like the day before she was murdered, clearly suspecting that there was no truth to anything that James had been saying. And then remember Glenn, the witness from the start, he can't ID James by his face, but the car described that he saw matches James's car. And the tire casts from the crime scene match perfect, like identical to James's Goodyear tires on his like ugly granny car that he was driving. So let's keep going through this evidence. The t shirt, the bloody t shirt that was found. Turns out this t shirt is a one of a kind t shirt. And why is it a one of a kind t shirt? Because James's daughter, Emma, made it for him. So she can positively ID that t shirt that she gave to her father, which was later worn during a murder. So well, there's a lot of evidence piling up against James at this point. Like, you can't make this stuff up. This man literally left custom merch at a crime scene, like the slappiest criminal ever. So, all this evidence against James, they go to trial. I mean, yeah, it's all circumstantial evidence, but it's totally clear like he got cold feet, he got caught, and he needed a way out of this situation. So during the trial, Emma, the daughter, she testifies that she had actually met Molly once, introduced as somebody that was helping make costumes, not, like her dad's fiance. And the night of the murder, she also did hear her father come home, and the time coincides perfectly with when Molly's body is discovered later that evening. So it didn't take very long for the jury to come up with guilty of first-degree murder, life in prison without parole. Even at the sentencing, James kept insisting he was innocent, claiming Molly was like the love of his life and blaming some mysterious like ex-boyfriend stalker who, by the way, doesn't exist. Like, I've heard of like two timing, but this man was like living like two full on lives, like a fake funeral, fake documents, fake everything. Like, he wasn't a fiance. He was basically a one man identity fraud department. And can we talk about how he thought he could hide a 7-year affair in like a small Missouri town? Like, sir, you couldn't even hide your t shirt. Like, you did a really just shitty job at this whole thing. But I guess maybe not. 7 years is a very long time to, um, keep up a whole double life. Like, that's nuts if you really think about it. Like, you have to be a complete sociopath to just have a whole wife and kids and then a whole other, engagement on the side. I don't know, it just blows my mind. Uh, like, and does nobody at their work talk also? Like, I don't know about you, but if there's two coworkers dating, like, what are you doing with the Christmas party? Who are you bringing? Like, are you just telling your wife there is no Christmas party? Either way, Molly deserved better. A real love story, not a man living in a Hallmark movie gone wrong. So, if you take away anything from this episode, it's that if your partner tells you that their ex died in a car crash but somehow can't name the hospital, grab your keys, grab your best friend, and run. Yeah, this story was just really sad. And I'm just happy though that Molly got the justice she deserved and that James was put away. His wife divorced him, and, I'm pretty sure his children saw his true colors. And yeah, it's just not nice to use a homemade gift from your children during a murder either. All right. Welcome back to the show. We are just going to get into a mom moment before Bubba wakes up. Complete 180. So we've talked about sea turtles and we talked about the Molly Watson case. And now we're just going to talk about Halloween and my baby. So while some moms are out there carving pumpkins, I'm over here like celebrating a brand new tooth. Yes, my little dude got a new tooth popping through, and it totally makes sense why I kind of slept like crap the last couple weeks, and it's definitely because he's been teething. So I'm expecting that for the next, like, I don't know, year of my life. But yeah, his little tooth showed up just in time for Halloween, and he's using it to bite through candy wrappers. The other day, I bought these little packs of applesauce, and he just chewed through them and just started sucking the applesauce out of the container. The kid is wild. He's just like a little animal. But yeah, I had a lot of fun with him this week because we went trick or treating. So I do record a little bit ahead of time before you get to hear each episode. So yes, yesterday was Halloween, and it's not his first Halloween, but it was super fun because last year he was only like a month old. He was just a little baby. And this time we got to dress him up, and I put him in a wagon, and we went all around the neighborhood, and yeah, we went trick or treating for the first time. And I don't think he really understood the concept of trick or treating. He would take his candy like piece by piece and just throw it on the street as we were walking. So there was just like a candy trail. And then I'd have to turn around and go back. And then instead of doing like one piece at a time, he just took his entire candy bowl and just dumped it on the road. So after that, we just decided it was time to go home. But it was super fun. Let's see what else. I just feel like there's always something new in my life with my child. He is just like growing so fast, and he's so smart. He's talking. That's the other thing. I think that's the other like new skill, or because what is it? Like leaps, and I don't know. There's terms that I'm just crappy at, and I did not Google any of this stuff. It's like strides and leaps. I whatever. Talking. This kid will not stop talking. Yes, my child is so funny. We were taking a tub. I was watching him, and Jameson walked in, and he just stops what he's doing, and he goes, "Oh, hey, dad," like clear as day. "Hey, dad." Oh my God, it was so cute. He's like mimicking. I don't know if he knows what he's saying, but he's like totally like mimicking, what we're saying. So like if he's standing on the couch, which is his new favorite thing is to be on the couch, and I say sit down, he'll go sit down. And it's like literally the cutest thing I've ever heard in my life. Like this child is going to get away with everything. And that's okay. I'm totally fine with it. Aside from his talking and his teeth, my house is complete chaos. Jameson vacuumed this morning, and I'm just looking around, and, the baby had 15 minutes to just completely destroy it again. So that's my life today. That's what's going on. I'm glad we have gotten through the Halloween season, and now it's time for the holidays to start. Yeah, I thought this week was busy. I just we got a lot going on. I think all of us are going to have a lot going on going into the holidays. But yeah, that about wraps it up for my week. I survived. We all survived. And yeah, pretty excited to see what next week has to bring. And that's a wrap on today's episode of Mostly Accurate. We went from sea turtles to secrets faster than you can say plot twist. First, we had Snooki the turtle reminding us that second chances sometimes come with flippers and a tank of salt water. And then we took a deep dive into the heartbreaking story of Molly Watson, a woman who deserved her fairy tale ending, not the tragedy she got instead. If today's episode has taught us anything, it's that real life doesn't always follow a script, whether you're a turtle who can't go back to the ocean or a woman chasing love. That wasn't what it seemed. So let's take a cue from Snooki the turtle. Keep floating, stay curious, don't let anyone mess with your peace, even if that means hiding in your shell for a little bit. If you liked today's episode, make sure to follow, rate, share Mostly Accurate Podcast with someone who loves a good mix of chaos and laughs and true crime. The usual. Thanks for hanging out with me. You can follow me on Instagram, Mostly Accurate Podcast, YouTube, Mostly Accurate Podcast, TikTok. I got a TikTok now. I know I'm super late to the game. I got to get my acts together. But yeah, on TikTok now, Mostly Accurate Podcast. I'm just trying to grow the audience here. So yeah, give me a follow. You can find me on all the places. You can stream the audio on any of your podcast streaming services. So thank you so much for hanging out with me today, guys. As always, stay curious, stay kind, and try to keep it mostly accurate. All right. Okay. Love you. Bye. This podcast is for entertainment purposes only. The facts are fuzzy. Our stories and opinions are just that, stories and opinions, not meant to be taken as professional advice.